Good morning, everyone. How's it going? It's me, your friend Chris, here for another weekly live stream. Today I'm going to be drawing on the new 2024 iPad Pro with the twin turbo double dueling OLED bit tandem display with the nano textures in the stream. And it's going to be great. Sorry, I got distracted because I glanced down at the chat and saw someone telling me that they were unsubscribing because of notifications. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm sorry. Good morning. We're here. I'm going to draw today. I don't have a real plan for what I'm going to draw except for on the channel's Discord. Hey, we have a Discord if you didn't know about it. I was thinking of doing one of my weird jumble drawings where I just draw a whole bunch of stuff, all together. I was asking people in the Discord for some suggestions of weird stuff to put into a jumble. So I thought maybe I'll just draw some of those things in a weird jumble during this. I did say that I was going to be answering questions about the iPad, and I posted it in the comments thread of my new video talking about the new iPad Pro with the Nano Texture screen, which I released this morning. I typically release videos on Tuesdays, but I didn't want to wait until Tuesday because this is sort of a topical thing. I know I had a lot of questions about drawing on the Nano display, so hopefully I was able to answer some of those, but I will, check in with the chat. Let me see if I can pull my chat into this stream and give it a second to update. I think I just got to change this to live chat, and hopefully it will start populating. But who knows? Things never go perfectly in the live stream, so we might not have a chat. We might. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'll just check in and we'll see if this populates. Let's see. We got a lot of people here. Anthony, greetings. We got the moderator, Skippy McHaggis. We got Trent Langley, a lot of channel members. Good morning, Diana Lisa, Andrew JD. Speaking of channel members, I just want to quickly shout out my channel members. All of my super supporters and above get their name drawn and included in all the videos I make while they are active members. These are my current lineup of super subscribers and above. Couldn't do it without them. So thank you all so very much. You can find out more about memberships below. We got a special website with all kinds of stuff on there. We do monthly hangouts, which I'm overdue for one now. Bonus videos, early access to videos. We got stuff. There's stuff in there. So I guess the chat doesn't want to work today. So let me just try once more to refresh it and see if that does anything. I think I may have just broken it. That's all. Okay, we can't have a chat today. Maggie Tarts, there's a link below the video where it shows memberships. It's a good thing I made another scene without the chat window because chat doesn't want to work today. Dil P from Guam, how's it going? All right. James Hosak, I love you too. Okay, let me switch over to my iPad. Oh wait, is the chat working? I saw a yay chat in there. No chat zone? Okay, so also I need to remember that I set up an overhead view today. Whoop, we gotta move my camera thing out of the way so that I could do it this way as well. And then I've got my normal draw thing. Even though our chat doesn't work, we're just gonna have to ignore the chat there. So I started scribbling just to sort of wake up my hand before the live stream started. But these were some suggestions from the Discord. Let's see. There was Marco suggested a creepy corn, so I drew that creepy corn there. Just a quick sketch to turn into something, just trying to get a feel for it. Someone suggested a skull with a hat. A sausage on wheels from Kohiko. Skippy McHaggis said a cat on caffeine. I might have to include that one. Jenna suggested a pug holding hands with an alien. I drew a pug and an alien. Just a rough sketch. I think we can turn this into something, but that's the plan. We'll see how fast this goes. Maybe I can incorporate other things, but who knows? So I'm going to try to remember to keep a look at the chat and answer questions while I'm drawing, but I'm going to turn down the opacity here. So I'm drawing on this new iPad without any screen protector and with the Apple Pro Pencil right out of the box. I have never been able to just draw on an iPad screen comfortably, and I think this nano texture is really nice. It's not it's not super textured. If you saw my review video, you'll see that I mentioned that you know, it's subtle, but I think it's kind of just right because the screen quality is impeccable. It's an amazing screen, and I don't have to worry about like wearing them out. Like I used to go through screen protectors very quickly. They would just get all chewed up. So that's my thought on that. It just feels nice. It is smooth, but it's not like that slippery, glossy smooth. It's just like a tiny bit. It's just like really nice, smooth, like marker paper. I don't know. I think it's great. I love it. I also love how nicely my hand slides on the screen. And just the quality of the screen is amazing. I'm extremely happy with it. It's been 2 days of drawing on it a lot, and I'm very happy with my decision. I do wish that I didn't have to pay for 1 terabyte to get it, but you know, it is what it is, and at least I don't have to worry about it. Like maybe I might decide to try like editing video on here, and then I don't have to be as concerned about storage space. Always warming up with a skull is a good way to do things, I think. Let's see what's going on with the chat. Thank you, Wolfgang Marrow. I appreciate that. Will, so you are asking if it's possible to compare the nano-textured glass to a matte screen protector like Paperlike. Okay, so yes, let me talk about that. I think that's the biggest question. So before I got this iPad, I was using my last iPad, which was the M1 iPad Pro, and I used tons of different screen protectors on that one. The last one I had on there was the one by Astro. No, it was by Pentips. It was the Pentips magnetic screen protector, and I think all of them feel about the same except for Paperlike. The current version of Paperlike is much smoother and closer to how this feels than like the Astropad rock paper pencil one or like the Bellamont. Those are more aggressive for sure. My issue with the Paperlike one was that it would wear out very quickly for me and they would just get really scratched up. So it would make the screen look even worse, even though it started out looking better. So this texture is not as rough or as, you know, as textured as a lot of them, but it's closest to the current version of Paperlike. But it's a tiny bit smoother and it's just nicer. And, you know, one of the things I didn't like about using screen protectors is that when I would like move my screen around like this with my hand, like doing gestures, sometimes it would like not register and hesitate a little bit. And obviously that never happens here because there's no disconnect between my fingers and the display. Skippy said, thank you for drawing a skull and a hat. Let's see. Shalom, you said you make music and music videos. Should I do a song and music video a day like you did? I mean, have you? One of my friends, Jonathan Mann, actually, I think on X or Twitter is Song a Day Man, has been doing a daily song and video for like well over 10 years. It's crazy. You should check him out. But you know, for me, my daily drawing project sort of made I attribute most of my whatever relative success to that daily drawing project. Like that's how I became an illustrator and started my career. So, you know, I think it's not for everyone, but I think it's hard formula to ignore because it not only improves your chances of getting your work in front of others, but that repetition and like just doing lots of work, you know, you can't help but get better and push yourself and you get faster. It's just a all around great situation. Javier, you said, would having the new iPad Air with Paperlike feel good? Like, would that be good? Yeah, I mean, the new iPad Air is great. I think the Pro is pretty much overkill for most everyone. And, you know, as even for myself as like a professional illustrator and someone who does like motion and stuff like that as well, you know, my M1 iPad Pro was never stressed. Like I never had any performance issues with that iPad. I just sort of, you know, wanted to upgrade because I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I really was curious about this nano texture, and you know, there's a lot of features that I was missing out on, like this hover stuff where I can like see big previews of the layers. You know, I think that was in the last version of the iPad Pro, but I'm not sure. But I didn't have that before, and like, you know, rolling over the tools and seeing that stuff, I think that's super great. What was I getting at? So yes, the iPad Air I think is a very, if you're someone who's just like using it for draw, I don't know, for pretty much everything, I think the Air is a great buy. So, and I also think like it's a great time, like if you want an iPad and don't want to, and like, you know, you're on a budget, like you could get a refurbished iPad from that's like several years old and it would still be a beast because they've been well overpowered for, you know, a very long time. I have an iPad mini that's like a glorified iPhone, and even that can handle most things without a problem. All right, Sun Yami, you want to know what the new screen smells like? Let me see. It doesn't smell like anything. Is that helpful? Art Astra, does the new iPad fit in the dartboard? It does. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but it goes in there. I have it in the Sketchboard Pro right now. Let me switch to my overhead view. So this is it in the Sketchboard. It is a little bit thinner than the, you know, the iPad this was designed for. So it insets a tiny bit, but it's really not noticeable when you're drawing. It's when you like put the iPads on top of each other, they're nearly identical in size. Like it's hard to tell that they're any different. But the new one is like a just millimeters wider. So it's a little bit of a tighter fit. The good thing is it's less likely to fall out of the Sketchboard Pro. So that's a benefit. I don't really know what this alien's gonna look like, so I'm winging it. In my new video, which I linked below. Hey, let me pop up that thing. My link below graphic. in that video, I put it in both the Sketchboard Pro and the and the dartboard. So I've used it in both, no issues there. And yeah, it's currently in there. What does this alien look like? Like, sometimes I do these like quick scribble sketches, but don't really know what it actually looks like, if that makes sense. I wanted it to sort of look kind of like the pug, because in my head that's why they're in love. And I don't know, I think I'm projecting this love onto them. Jenna just said they were holding hands. You don't have to be in love to hold hands. All right, let me find another question before I start drawing. Anne said, could you test the OLED panel by taking a look with Laura H. Rubin's artwork? She uses high contrast art between blacks and whites. I will look into that and maybe maybe try to include that in like a update video. I feel like I should do like after a couple weeks of using it, do another video where I'm like, is it still the greatest thing ever? Did the honeymoon period wear off? But I will try to remember that. Honestly, I can't imagine it hiding any of the contrast, because like when I look at it next to, I mean, I don't know if this is this camera is not the best. And the live stream quality, but this is not selling it. It is amazing. Like the darks are just so black. Granted, the other one is, gonna be a little bit better, but like I don't even know though, because it's also gonna have reflection too. So, there is that. I think it's amazing. I think there's no compromise in clarity, especially because I can't use an iPad without a matte screen protector, and this is just night and day better than an iPad with, even the best, like the Paperlike screen protector. It's so much better. There's no, like, with the screen protector, it's a little fuzzy. It's a little dulled out. This is not dulled at all. And Natalie, congratulations on making it to a live. We're happy to have you. Vertical chat is showing in chat zone. How did that happen? How come I don't see it here? What on earth? I don't see anything in my chat. Weird. So confusing. YouTube, let's see. See if I can change my chat zone. Oh, did I fix it? I think I fixed chat zone. Dan Kelly, I am currently drawing with the Retro Supply Co. Classic Inker from their liner set, linked below. I should also say that I am currently working on a custom pack with Retro Supply Co., which is like, I'm not designing brushes, but what I'm doing is picking out all of my favorite products of theirs and making a bundle, a special Chris Piascik bundle, which will be available soon with some extra video content and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that, and it'll include all the stuff that I use on a regular basis, and I'm pretty excited about that. I think I've gone through and used like everything they have, and there's some things that I just really like, and it took me a while to figure out all the best stuff for this kind of work that I like to do. So if you are similar, I think you're going to be into it. So hopefully I can do that sooner than later. All right, let's move down to this burger skateboarding. Look at this bun action here. This kind of reminds me of my recent animation in fresco tutorial with the just a weird little monster guy skateboarding. If you want to know about looping animations and creating a parallax effect in fresco, that is the video for you. I think you're gonna like it. So, gonna give this meat a little more character. I'm thinking he's going so fast the cheese is starting to come off. Like that. I guess I probably should have put some like lettuce or something, but I don't know. I just feel like there should be more than just cheese. Maybe we can have some like ketchup coming off there. So I have used the Pen Tips Plus tip on here, and that gives it even more texture. So if you like were using this and you found you wanted a little bit more resistance, that is a good one. Although the pen tips are pricey, they tend to last way longer than like the generic ones. Especially the Pen Tips Plus, because it's soft. Not super soft, but like it's soft. Much softer than like a hard Apple Pencil tip. And it also doesn't make any noise when you tap, which is nice. But honestly, the more I draw on this screen, the more I love it, and just it's such a nice screen. I can't express that enough. Let's put some little sesame seeds on this. Is that what those are? Sesames? I can't remember. All right, let me check in with the chat. Yeah, no more air bubbles. That's a good point, Steve. Appreciate that. Travis, you said, do you have any videos showing on how you use their Rezo brushes with their class? Yes, I do. I have quite a few of those. I did a recent live stream where I walked through that process, and I have videos on that as well. I think if you look in my fresco, one of my fresco playlists, that's just like not the motion one, the fresco tips and tutorials playlist. There's one that I think has like the word texture in the thumbnail. I think that one goes through the process. So that and the live streams. I think the live stream, although it's longer, could be helpful because I answer some questions live that you may have. I think there's been other ones too. There's a live stream with like a Ninja Turtle drawn in like a classic Japanese tattoo style. That one uses those Rezo brushes too. Let's see. I'm trying to read the comments, but they're going quickly. So, yes, Panda Maru. It does fit in the dartboard. It's a little bit more of a push than the regular one, but like just barely. I have it in the sketchboard Pro 2 right now, and it fits fine. It just insets a tiny bit. All right, let's so this is someone suggested Wolverine SpongeBob. So I'm kind of drawing the SpongeBobness from memory here because I've drawn a lot of SpongeBob both for fun and for work. I've actually made some patterns and like an activity book for Nickelodeon where I drew my own version of SpongeBob, which is not that much different than regular SpongeBob because my style is sort of SpongeBob-ish. But this is Wolverine SpongeBob. I don't get it, but I like it. I've actually drawn a bunch of SpongeBob puns, like Sponge Rob Zombie, Sponge Bob's Burgers. I was thinking about doing a video where I just do a ton of very stupid SpongeBob puns. So if you have any suggestions, put those in the chats. And, you know, why don't you smash the like to let me know that you want me to draw weird SpongeBob puns. That said, my videos where I make these sort of weird combinations tend to not do well. But I do them anyway because they're fun. Okay. I like wiggle my canvas around when I'm being indecisive. Okay. So I remember he's got that nose. I think his eyes aren't big enough in my sketch. I think his eyes also actually touch, but not in when he's Wolverine Bob. So I want to exaggerate how big the eyes are by not having the mask fully come to the bottom. Then we'll have this. Well, let's see. I don't know if I want it to fully cover the nose. We'll just have it a little bit on the nose like that. And then we need trying to decide how I want to handle these ear things. I'm thinking maybe they'll come out of the middle of the side. And then we'll erase this part. Oh, that's pretty cool. SpongeBob Barker, that's a good one. Oh, some of my favorites were SpongeBobby Digital from the Wu-Tang Clan. Javier, you said, do you think you'll make a brush taking advantage of the barrel roll? So, to be honest, I'm not much of a brush maker. So, the closest I've come to making my own brushes is I put out vector presets for Fresco because you can't import vector brushes into Fresco, but you can do presets so you can customize your settings here. And I did that, but like, I don't know. There's some people who are great at making brushes with like actual textures and stuff like that. And it's not really my forte, but maybe we'll see. I don't know if I'm someone who would use much of the that kind of thing. There is haptic feedback on the new pencil. It is not in the current version of Fresco, but the update for Fresco is coming in, they said in the June update. So, you know, that's right around the corner. I'm very excited about that. One of the things I'm most excited about is the squeeze function will allow you to pull up your brush menu. So you won't have to go over here. It also will have like undos and stuff like that. I show some clips of how it works in my review video, which is linked below. I saw someone else ask again about the brush. I'm currently using the Retro Supply Co. Classic Inker from their liner set, which you can find a link below to Retro Supply Co. In the coming weeks, I'm going to have my own special bundle from Retro Supply Co. So look out for that. Let me see what I'm missing in the chat. Sorry, I was just focusing on my Wolverine SpongeBob suggested from one of the great people in the Discord channel. If you are not on our Discord, you should join. There's so many super cool people in there posting great work, giving feedback, just being all around rad individuals. I'm trying to make a point to be on there more. Which I think is going to start to be a little bit more feasible. I started working with an editor to help me out with my videos. So shout out to my editor. Does your tool ever switch to the eraser randomly, or is it just me? So I think that you can have that set up as like a touch gesture feature. So sometimes if I'm not wearing my glove, I'll accidentally switch to the eraser. There's also a default setting where you can double tap the pencil and that will switch to the eraser. So if I double tap, it goes back to the pen, back to the eraser. I would love to customize this to toggle the modifier instead, because I don't like to use the eraser. I just like to use my brush as an eraser because it matches the texture. For example, if I zoom in here on this textured line, and if I grab the eraser, it's a clean line. But if I use the modifier and erase with this brush, it matches that texture. So that's what I want in my life. And draw Wolverine's special wing boots. I don't know if they're wings because he doesn't fly or anything. If you like seeing me draw weird Wolverines, boy, do I have some videos for you. I did a video where I did SpongeBob versions of the X-Men, and I have one where I drew Wolverine as a character from Ren and Stimpy. Both of those are my least popular videos I've ever posted and some of my most fun videos. So maybe go watch them so someone sees them. Okay, let's just put some little sponge things. Oh, we need the bottom of this mask. This eye is a hot mess over here. We got to fix the bottom. This is a good example of using the eraser because it doesn't, using the modifier because it doesn't mess with the texture. There we go. All right. Should I do the creepy corn next? Oh, thank you, Skippy. I'm having a hard time watching both the vertical and the horizontal chat. Thank you so much for bringing that over here. The question is the nano screen really a replacement for a screen protector? Is it better? Not as good? The same? These are good questions. So what I would say is I think it's better because it is something that doesn't, like, the screen protectors for me wear down quickly. They get all scratched. They make the screen really hazy. They wear down the pencil tips very quickly. But, they were crucial for me because I couldn't draw on the regular glass. This is definitely smoother, so it's different, but I think for me, it's the right amount of smooth. I think it feels great. I think a screen protector is still a very viable option, and I think they're still good. I think the one that compromises the least is the Paperlike, but again, for me, I wore those down so fast that they would get worse than a very textured screen protector because they'd be so scratched up. So, I think I think this is better. For me, this is the perfect solution. Granted, it's still early, but I've drawn it a lot, and I am in love with it. I really am. I think it's just great. What does corn look like at the top? Maybe we can put a some corn leaves. Skippy, you said with physical media, are you a pencil or Sharpie sketcher, or maybe in physical media? So before I switched over to digital, it was sort of a step process for me. Like I didn't immediately switch fully to digital. For a while, I was doing my line work on paper. So I would do black and white line work on paper, and then I would scan it in and then color it in Photoshop, because like I couldn't get my line work to work right digitally. So when I did my line work, I would use just like regular plain paper. But if it was like something important and I wanted it to be really good, I would use marker paper, which is just paper that, you know, is sort of coated a little bit. What are we doing here with this corn? Hold on, I gotta get my thoughts together because I don't know how to draw corn. We're gonna turn this down because we're not ready for that corn man. Okay, so I would use plain paper, and I would use, originally I would use a Sharpie. I used a Sharpie so much that I got a Sharpie tattooed on my arm somewhere. I can't show you. There. Anyway, the last things that I would draw with were felt tip pens, like sign pens. Like maybe I have one. Like these jobbers. I don't know if it's gonna let you see it. This is gonna want to show you my face. Like this. So they're just felt tip pens, and that's what I've always tried to like emulate with my digital work. So that's that. So the classic anchor that I like to use here, and like my VV Sharpie in my what's it called? My vector presets, that is just trying to get that same amount of like pressure sensitivity and texture that those kind of brushes have. So that's what that's like my gold standard. Daniel B, I am sorry. Listen, there's so many. I'm trying to draw and monitor two windows, so I'm doing the best I can. There's a lot. We got people viewing, and what is your question? No, I didn't skip over your question because he's a monitor. I did it because his jump out to me because they're highlighted because he's a moderator, so I know if something's going wrong. But I am happy to answer your question if you want to put it in there. I'm not trying to skip anyone. Just, you know, one guy over here drawing a creepy corn and trying to answer your questions. So I'm trying to get this creepy face option. Dr. Incognito, channel member in the house, made a live stream. How's it going? Here for it with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Does the ESR shift magnetic case you showed in the review as sturdy as the Zugu case? I would say yes. Those ESR things were very sturdy. Like they're heavy duty. I was not expecting them to be so heavy duty. Where is it? So this is that ESR case, and it's, I don't know if this is helpful, but it's heavy duty. And this is the Zugu case. So I would say they are on par, or the ESR is a little bit heavier duty. I say that because the ESR has this separate inner padded piece where the Zugu case is all in one. So there's a little bit more flexibility in this ESR case, but the material is about the same and the same thickness. So other than that, they're pretty similar. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay, Daniel B, I see your question now. You said you mentioned in your unboxing video 1 terabyte for Nano, but what is your Adobe CC account? And how often do I start in a sketchbook? Okay, so first part of the question, yeah, so you had to get 1 terabyte, and I have the a regular Creative Cloud account, so that helps with Fresco. But my iPad Pro, my old one, my M1, I had only used 130 gigs on it, and I've had that for years, and you know how things accumulate. So in my iCloud storage, I don't have a ton because I don't think they give you that much space. But like a lot of my work, like client work, I moved to my computer anyway, and it's just sort of like a seamless transition back and forth. In terms of a sketchbook, I don't really draw analog at all anymore, unless I'm just like drawing with my kid on like a piece of paper or in like a coloring book or something like that. I just prefer sketching on the iPad just because I'm so used to it now, and it's just like right there when I'm ready to do like final line work. And I just like to be able to zoom in. I'm so accustomed to zooming in and out and like moving the screen around that it feels like I'm limited when I have to not be able to do that. So yeah, I don't really ever sketch on paper anymore. So hopefully that answered your question. I'm sorry that you felt like I was skipping over you. It was not intentional. I'm not skipping anyone. All right, so that's Creepy Corn. This is supposed to be a log sawing himself in half, but it's not upset about it. He's okay with it. That was who said that? Clem House Art said, a log sawing itself in half, but in a fun way, not self-harm. So that was hard to draw. I'm still not sure if I know what it looks like, but I may try to draw that one. Let me switch over to my overhead view again. Move this back a little bit. All right, so we're gonna need a new layer to figure this log situation out because I have not solved what is happening here in this sketch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the face of the log a little bit bigger, and then maybe have it come back a little bit more. I think it's just too long right now. So if like that, maybe, or connected. So if the arm, there's a lot, like how is he's sawing himself in half. So this is his arm. You guys are like, I'm here to get questions answered, and you're talking about a log sawing himself in half. I will answer questions in 1 second. I just want to... I think we might be able to make that work. But this arm... this arm needs to come from over there more? I don't know. It's weird. It's not a thing, so it can be weird. That's my thing. Skippy with a question from Vertical Land. I appreciate it. Do you think you'll edit video on your new iPad? And if you do, Premiere or Final Cut Pro? I don't know if I will. I might experiment a little bit from here, you know, on and off. I've never used Premiere. I have dabbled with Final Cut on the iPad. To be honest, I didn't find it to be that enticing, and I ended up not continuing and doing it on my computer. But maybe, you know, I think that's one of the perks of having the 1 terabyte model, where I can sort of do that. Let's turn my sketch off and try to draw this in a way that doesn't look like hot garbage. Dr. Incognito, you said, here's the ultimate iPad setup. ESR hybrid case has the detachable cover, a strong magnet, Wix magnetic backplate, also MagSafe pop socket to... Sane Delicious said, now that's perspective. This is terrible perspective, but, you know, it's okay because we're drawing nonsense. So I'm going to try to make this a little bit less round. Old timer, welcome to, oh, you became a channel member. Thank you so much. I was like, what is this graphic showing me? Old timer is the newest channel member. All right, so I'm trying to make this look like it's starting to, like it's not fully split. That's the goal here. Because he's in the process of sawing himself in half. Thanks, Clem Arthouse, for this difficult suggestion. So I'm drawing the saw like flat at the bottom, just so I can figure out the angle properly, and then I'll put the toofuses in. So we'll do it on a separate layer, and then I'll erase the middle part. And while I'm doing that, I will find a question to answer. S. Leon, can you advise a newbie to sell their art? So, you know, I don't sell, like, so I'm, as an illustrator, I get, like, you know, commissioned to do illustrations for different kinds of projects, like advertising, editorial, books, all kinds of stuff. And I have some videos where I talk about that, but specifically selling artwork is not an area that I've done a lot with. I have a whole playlist called, I think it's called like illustration business stuff, or business illustration business. And in that playlist, I have videos that kind of talk about, you know, starting to earn money with your illustration, and, you know, stuff that I've learned throughout my career as an illustrator. So I think maybe you'll find some helpful stuff in that playlist. But selling art directly is not something I've done a ton of, like selling my pieces on their own. Skippy, from the money side, is spending the extra like $1,200 for the nano screen worth more than buying $1,000 worth of matte screen protectors and pen tips? Thinking long term. That's a fair question. And, you know, I think that's a personal choice. For me, I like that I'm getting the best possible screen experience here. So like, with a screen protector, it is, the screen is compromised a little bit. And also they would get so worn out for me, and I hated the process of like switching them out, and I didn't like the lag on gestures. So for me, it's worth it, but it's a big increase in price. I think it evens out for me because like I'm drawing on my iPad for work, for fun. Like I use it all day, every day. So like that extra cost is a lot easier for me to justify. But if you're like a hobbyist or like, not that particular, I think, the screen protector is obviously very much fine. I, did that for years and years and years. No issues. It's just now that this is an option. The other thing too is like, as like an illustrator, someone who makes their living doing this, like, it's a business expense for me too. So there's always that. So I guess that's not a very satisfying answer, but it is the one that I have. Is it a lonely little leaf coming off there? I don't know. I'm trying to draw a log. Draw some bark action. There's a lot of weird stuff in this drawing. Let's see, what time is it? All right. I gotta make sure I don't go too late today because I have to, I have a meeting a little bit later that I have to prepare for. All right, let me turn my sketch back on. Let's check in with the chat. Mint, is Free Fresco usable? Free Fresco is 99% of the app. The only thing you're limited in Free Fresco is you can't import your own brushes, and you get like less Creative Cloud storage. Pretty sure those are the only limitations. You can, I think I have a video where I just used the free version of Fresco. But yeah, it's and you're limited by brushes, but it also comes with over 200 brushes, and they're made by Kyle Webster, who is like a brush super genius. So it's not that much of a compromise. I'm thinking I was gonna say have a branch for a nose, but like, the branch wouldn't come out of the middle of a log. Either would a regular nose, but we're putting a nose on him, so when in Rome. What are we doing here? This is chaos. I have no recollection of what that last thing I was answering was, and I was talking about the Free Fresco. Okay, yeah. This log guy is something special. We need some like sawdust. Think it'll look better when it's colored, maybe? Who knows? It's something. So this over here is sausage on wheels, and then I put like a guy in it. So this is another one where I don't really know what it looks like. So let's just draw it. Let me see. No, it's just a screaming mouth with jagged teeth. It's the problem is the suggestion was that it was like he was sawing himself in half in not a bad way, just like a fun way. So I wanted him to have fun with it. Hassan, you said, how often do I use Adobe Capture? So, being honest, I don't use it that often. Whenever I like remember it or think about it, I'm like, oh, this is sweet. I forgot how cool this is. But then I, just sort of get caught up in what I'm doing and forget to use it. But I think it's really cool for like capturing color palettes that you see out in the world. It's fun to make like you can make like vector like graphics from things too, which is kind of fun. And then like the pattern plugin when you're in Fresco and you can like export to a pattern with Capture, that's a really cool feature too. Those are not what a sausage is. The sausage is like a knot. Yeah. It's a skin knot. It is disgusting. That one's too smooth. I feel like it needs a little bit of a... There we go. Okay, so it's a sausage, not a hot dog, so we got to put like weird things on it. Weird lines and the like. Javier, yeah, you can... Adobe Capture is great for making infinite patterns directly from Fresco. Jonathan Jefferson, Skin Knot. That's my favorite band, Skin Knot. I would say a 2017 iPad Pro to iPad M2 Air. Anything with an Apple M chip is going to be a champion for a very long time. The M2, that's an upgrade from my previous iPad Pro that I've been using for years, up until 2 days ago, and no issues whatsoever. Okay, so this, I'm thinking maybe it's got like a little bit of a windshield here, and then there's a steering wheel. I'm gonna do a new layer in case we mess this guy up. So this is just a guy having a good time driving his sausage. I hate this guy. What did my sketch look like? I thought there was like weird teeth on him. Like my sketch is nothing, but it's better. Let's try again. Just crazy nose, this eye, they're kind of mishapped. Oh, you know what it is? It's just a big grin because he's having the time of his life driving his Wienermobile. Maybe he's got a tongue flapping in the wind. He's like, I got a Wienermobile. I'm driving a wiener. Okay. Then we just got this arm thrown back in the wind. Just cruising. And then there's his other arm. I don't know. He's looking up. He's about to crash because he's not paying attention to what he's doing. Okay. What's happening? It might be Oscar Mayer. I don't know what it is. Um, the reflection in daylight with the nano texture is non-existent. I have lights on me for filming, and normally when I was filming my iPad before, I had to put them like sideways so they didn't glare onto my iPad screen. So yeah, non-existent. It's I have like a whole video where I talk about my filming setup for the iPad because it was like one of the biggest struggles was filming my iPad screen without getting glare. And now I don't even have to think about it. Like I have lights above pointing down, no glare. It's great. All right, let's put some wheels on here. I don't know why I'm doing like off-roady tires on this. I guess if you're driving a sausage, you might go off-roading. Just some spinny lines just to show how fast it's going. I don't know. This is chaos. Let's merge that down. Maybe we'll just quickly add in a little bit of color because I don't have much longer available. I wish that this had a more coherent composition. Like we need something up here. I'm gonna start coloring. Let me know in the chat what I should draw in this space up here so that it is a more balanced composition. And then maybe something little for down here. So up here, we need something like this size and then something there. And maybe, actually no, I think what we're gonna do in that spot is go back to the original suggestion was these two holding hands. What does it look like when people hold hands? Like that. And then we might put another couple little hearts in there for their love story. Oh, and then the creepy corn is looking at their love. He likes it. Okay. Let me just draw this handhold, this little love touch. The chat is going wild. I have to assume it's just amazing suggestions. I feel like one of the reasons I'm not as good at drawing when I am doing my live streams is because I can see in the corner of in my peripheral of the chat going, and it's so like hard for me to not just stop what I'm doing and look, and I'm not focusing on my drawing. So that's why you don't get the best of me during a live stream. But we're having fun, right? Well, if we're having fun, then prove it and give me a smash my thumbs. YouTube. Okay, that's cute. Let's delete that. Let's merge this down. I see some floating hearts. You know what? We need a little love heart right there to fill that space. And then a couple rogue sesame seeds, because this burger is flying. Okay, let's set this as a reference, then make a new layer and do a little bit of coloring. Start with this yellow color because we got corn. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Do you poop hitting the fan? Thanks, Andra. Draw a cicada. Project, you said, is it worth to buy the new iPad Pro even if you already got one? Is it worth having two iPad Pros? Or like you have an old one and you want to upgrade? I think that's probably the question. What I would say is, sorry, let me fix the chat thing. I had a M1 iPad Pro and I thought it was great. But I upgraded and I didn't really need to, but I did. And I am happy. I think it was a big improvement, but like I didn't need to, is what I'm saying. So that's my like you don't need to upgrade, but I think it's great. So sometimes when I'm choosing colors, I'll just like start with one color and then just like keep adding them until I'm done to try to like keep it minimal. But I'll use colors that like I know I need for the drawing. For example, I know I need a bluish color because we've got SpongeBob Wolverine, and I needed the yellow for the corn. And then I try to see if I can find other places to use it. So it's not just in one spot. So like maybe I'll use that blue for the skateboard deck. Maybe like stripe over there. Maybe the pug can have a blue nose. The alien antennas could be blue. Who knows? We're gonna need a brown situation for the log, but also the burger. Maybe some sausage. Steady line painting. You said you started using fresco when you found my channel. Cool. Heart holding a knife. I like that. A goofy camel. Like that. I will never understand why one is drawing with such a hand cover. I can tell you. I use my hand cover because it slides on the screen nicer, and you know, sometimes my hand maybe gets a little sweaty or something. It's not nice on the screen. This is especially noticeable when I am doing more lettering. I do a lot of lettering in my work, and if I'm doing script or something that needs a long continuous line, you're drawing a whole line, and then all of a sudden, you get a little stop action from your sticky hand. Also, it helps with not accidentally doing like tap gestures, like switching to an eraser. So now you don't have to say you'll never understand because I just explained it. Seth, yes, I would absolutely recommend taking a tiny hammer to your iPad screen to get the texture. I think that might work. So just get for the base of this, we're doing this pink color, but I'm gonna come in and like add some brown or something to it. Oh, and we need the red for the sponge belt, this X belt. Okay, let's find a brownish, more like an orangey, warm brown. Not loving this color palette right now, but sometimes you just got to get it on the page and then you can come back and figure out how to make it suck less. That is often my process when I'm coloring. It's like, oh, this is trash. But it's like, at least I get them on the page and then it's quick. It's easy for me to swap out colors once they're there quickly because I can use like the non-contiguous fill. Actually, we should use that for the skull. Actually, no. Let's use white for the skull, but then use that cream color for the insets of the nasal cavity. And then maybe we could do some like a little bit of shade zone here. So like just the scribbling like this to color with this new screen is just so nice. Like that's one of the things that would feel terrible on the straight glass. Obviously, you know, a matte screen protector is the same sort of situation, but that's when it's most noticeable to me, doing like quick movements like that. Okay, so this pug, I'm gonna do like that brown lower part of the face and then the tan upper part, like a classic pug situation. I'm gonna turn off my reference layer so I can fill that in. And then, whoops, come back here. Howdy, Jack Johnson. I think I don't think Apple has said anything about not touching the nano texture with a special Apple cloth. That was about the old display, which is not the same thing as the nano texture iPad display. Like the idea that you couldn't touch it with a certain cloth, but you could just scratch it around with a pencil. That a lot of people keep talking about that it being really sensitive, but that was the monitor, not something meant to be drawn on. So I think they're very different processes and different displays. And they've always come with a cloth, and the cloth that it came with didn't feel different than the last one that came with my iPad. Let's see. I think he needs some brown ears. All right, let's get, oh, we can use this for, let's turn our reference back on. Oh, and this is good bun color. Also good side of the skateboard color. Let's do some yellow wheels. I think I'll just do these things yellow too. New sub. Thanks, Tristan. Inferno, you said only Nano comes with a cloth. Mine didn't have a cloth included. That's weird. I'm almost positive. So we recently got an Air. I'm almost positive that one came with a cloth. There's a smaller black one. So I was thinking maybe I'd use the blue on the saw, just because like I don't want to add too many more colors. So I try to like use colors for things, because I know I want to use a green, I think, unless we use like a green that could be blue too, like a more green blue. I just like to keep colors sort of minimal. I like that color. Let's see how Wolverine, I think, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I like it. So what you can do is, let me turn off reference layer. If you don't know this trick, it's very handy. When you're in the paint bucket tool, if you go in the sub menu and you uncheck contiguous, when I fill this in, it's gonna fill in all of the blue stuff, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's turn that back on, make this a reference again. All right. What? Thank you, Skippy and Inferno 9. This is the new iPad, 13-inch with the Nano Texture. Diana Lisa, thank you. You said you love the Pug and Alien. All right. Well, okay. So I'm gonna color this little monster, and then we can do some detail. Let's put. Oh, I forgot that I filled those in white. Can erase that. Oops. Okay. Fill those in blue. And then what color can that be? I don't know yet. Maybe this guy should just be the green color. The Pug's arm, we forgot that. Alien arm. And let's color in SpongeBob's extra spots like that. And then maybe some. How did I make a new layer? When did I do that? I'm at the point where I'm rambling to myself, and also need to shut this down pretty soon. Just putting some gross colored things in the sausage because it's a sausage. And you gotta just make it weird. Okay, so what do we have? We had some suggestions for that top part. A rainbow cloud. I love that. We'll just do a rainbow cloud. Jonathan suggested a toilet in the corner. Maybe a rainbow going into a toilet. I think that's what we're gonna do. Let's release this reference. Notice that I colored in our pug on the line work layer, which I don't want, so we can just cut that. Okay, and then paste it, and now we can merge it with the rest of the color. Okay, so let's do a new layer, got black. Okay, so let's see if I can just freestyle a toilet. We got that, and then let's see. Got this toilet seat, and then back part, and then like this zone up here. And I got a little flusher knobber. I mean, I think it's passable. I think the perspective is bad, but I think for our purposes, it might be okay. So this is my vision. We'll put a cloud over here. And then let's just move this over a little bit. And now we're going to, I'm gonna do this on a new layer. We're gonna have a rainbow going right in the toilet. And I guess it's going to obscure some of the toilet, but I think it'll be okay. We can actually put the flusher on the other side. So now on this layer, we can erase the extra stuff. Okay, let's merge that down. Let's put a flusher, because you can't have a toilet without a flusher. I'm curious compositionally if we flip this. Beep, 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 beep. No. I just noticed that those hands over here are reflecting. It's kind of funny. Okay, let's that's good enough. Let's merge that down. Set as reference, and then let's blue, a red, and then the yellow, and then we can make the toilet this color. Oh, I got my color fill turned way down. Let's fix that. Okay. There, up, and then we'll do the red, yellow, and just for good measure, a little happy cloud there. And then this is a little bit of a leaky toilet, unfortunately. I haven't decided if I want to be gross and make it yellow. Actually, I put that down here. Oops. And I want it on my line work layer. Okay. Cut. Paste. merge down. We're doing it. Sorry. Someone peed on the floor. It's disgusting. That's what happens. Okay. So, I want to mess around and noodle with this, but to be honest, I can't because I have to go to a meeting. But I will finish this later and post it in my community tab and on Instagram. You can follow me at Chris Piascik there. And you can see the final results from your feedback. Let me see if I can answer a few questions quickly. I guess the chat broke again. I don't know why it doesn't want to work, so I'm going to turn that off. Let's see. Damien, I did talk about Paperlike 2 to Nano Texture. The Paperlike 2 is the closest out of all the screen protectors I've tried to the Nano Texture. The Nano Texture is a little bit more subtle, but I found with the Paperlike that it wore out very quickly and got really scratched within, like a week. So it wasn't ideal. Vittorio, you said it'd be nice to try some pen tips with the new Nano Texture. So I actually talk about it in my video, which is linked below. I used the pen tips plus. I'll quickly put it on now and show you. So the previous generation pen tips are all the same. So this is the pen tips plus. This is my favorite of their brush tips. So with the textured screen, there is a bit more, it's like a good amount of resistance. So, you may like that. Let me grab a, it's like halftone brush to do some little texture on here. Did I grab that brush? What are we doing here? Oh, it's I forgot that this is the texture one, so you got to push a little bit harder. So yeah, this is the cool thing about this is it's silent and it's softer, so it's like less wear and tear. Oh, sorry, I'm not on the drawing screen. I'm a dummy. So like this, I think this works well. Let me switch to the overhead one so you can sort of see it. I don't know if this is showing you anything, but it's I think it's a nice sort of a nice feel, and it's completely silent, which is nice. So yeah, I like it. I think I may find myself coming to this one more than the regular one, just because I like how quiet it is and it's a little bit more resistance. I think it might also depend on what I'm drawing. It's a little bit slower, so if I needed some like long flowing continuous lines, it may not be the best just because it has more resistance. But then again, if you don't find the Nano Texture screen as smooth or as textured as you want, this is a way to make it even more so. Sarah, you said, do you think it'd be fine to use a metal pen tip with the Nano? Maybe, but I'm not going to. I don't love metal tips to begin with. The only reason I was using metal tips ever was when I was using a very rough paper texture, like the rock paper pencil one. I used it on that because it would just chew through pencil tips so fast. But I wouldn't want to use metal on this. I would be scared, one, and two, I don't like the feel of the metal unless it's on a very rough texture. Skippy, so in terms of I don't think it's not actual lag with the smoothing. It's like it correcting it, but maybe, sorry about my mic. Let me go back to my classic anchor. So, I have smoothing all the way up, and you still see a visual lag because it's not actual lag. It's the way it corrects it. So like, for example, in Procreate, what are we doing? I'm not trying to paste anything. In Procreate, when you use a brush with a lot of streamline, it does that weird pull thing. It's just they handle it differently. So instead of this like weird string thing that Procreate does, Fresco just, corrects it after the fact. What did I do wrong? Oh, there we go. So, there's a little bit, but it definitely feels way more natural to me than the Procreate way, but that's a preference thing. Abe, so you said Apple doesn't recommend the nano texture for artists, recommended for more for video production. I don't think that I haven't seen anything where they say it's not recommended for artists. They say it's recommended for anyone who needs the most consistent color and anyone who has overhead lights. It's more, they just talk about it in terms of light and color accuracy. I do have an affiliate links for Pen Tips Pro with a coupon code. I don't think the coupon code is great. I think I forgot to put it in the live stream chat, but in my iPad review video, it is in that description with my coupon code. Thank you for asking. So yes, it fits in the Sketchboard Pro fine. It's nearly identical to the old iPad. It's like a fraction of a millimeter wider on each side, but this is rubber and it fits right in there. It is a little bit skinnier, so there is a tiny dip, but I don't find it to be noticeable when I'm drawing. Hassan, the Fresco update with the squeeze feature for the menus and all that stuff is coming in the June update. Will said, will you continue to review matte screen protectors for those of us without? Yeah, possibly. I feel like we've sort of reached the pinnacle for that sort of tech. I don't know how much they're going to change. Maybe they'll come up with something that's more resilient, like the new Paperlike. It just sort of wears out so quickly. I don't think someone commented in my other video that like they wouldn't get the Nano because you can't use a texture screen protector on it. And I don't think that's the case at all. There's no reason why I couldn't use a textured screen protector on this. Like the screen is not that much different. It's just not glossy. So like a screen protector on this would be fine. There's no reason that I couldn't use it. But yeah, I would try that. I don't know if I'm gonna hold on to my old iPad Pro or sell it or something to make up for the millions of dollars I spent on this iPad. It's still such a solid machine. It seems like a waste to have it just sit there. But again, I don't think there's any reason why you couldn't use a screen protector on this. And, I'll try it for science, for video's sake. Suggested tip to get more friction. Yeah, the Pen Tips Plus. Pen Tips Plus are the ones that give you more friction. They have ones that slide over the pencil tip. They're a lot cheaper. I just didn't like how thick they made the tip of the pencil. But if you think that wouldn't bother you, then you could try those out. But the Pen Tips Plus are normal size pencil tips. They just have that same texture to them. Let's see. So your view on an iPad Pro 13-inch M4 for a starter artist, so like if you're starting out and you're just wanting to draw, I think the iPad Pro is very much overkill. Sure, the new screen's amazing, but it's not like the old iPad screen is not great. The iPad screens are fantastic. An iPad Air, especially now that it has an M2, is going to hold up to anything that you're going to want to do with it. My partner, my wife, Shanna, is an amazing illustrator, and she uses the M2 iPad Air, and it's fantastic. No issues there, and the screen is great. If you just looked at it and you thought, this screen is amazing, you would never want for a better screen. The new screen is incredible, but like, I don't know, the old one's good too. So yeah. And also 256 gig. My iPad Pro M1 was a 256 gig, and I only used 130 gigs over the several years that I had it. That said, I work mainly in Fresco, and Fresco saves things to the cloud, and then I transfer things to my computer because it's like client work and stuff like that. If you're using something like Procreate that saves it locally onto your machine, wouldn't be as it wouldn't be the, you could use more space. But even so, 256 is a good starting point, and you can always back up files if you needed to. You can hook up a USB-C SSD drive and transfer files quickly. If I could have gotten the Nano Texture on a different setup, I would have bought the 512. And again, I only used 130 gig on my other one, so take that for what it is. All right, a couple more questions, and then I do have to go. So the overhead cam, I think, is just that my second camera is not as good. It's just not as, like, if you want to see an accurate view of, if you want a more accurate view of the screen, watch my video about the new iPad Pro, which is linked in the description, where I use my better camera, and it looks much better. This camera is the backup overhead camera, not as good. Okay. Jonathan, you said, is that shirt up for grabs as merch? So it was when I was using TeePublic briefly, but I pulled my shop from there because I wasn't psyched about them. But I'm going to incorporate this one into my online shop, which is linked below. And it might actually already be there. I don't know. I need to get on top of that stuff, but it will be soon if it's not. Chuckley, the screen has been great. I have no concerns about it like being an issue. I've been drawing on it like crazy for the past 2 days. No issues. And again, I used a Wacom Cintiq that had a similar matte finish for years, and nothing ever happened to it. So I'm not worried about that. So Prince, you're trying to decide about 8 gigs of RAM plus 512 or 16 gigs. So to be honest, I don't think there's a need to upgrade for like 16 gigs of RAM. My M1 iPad Pro certainly doesn't have 16 gigs of RAM. No issues handling anything. Like I've done 99% of my client work for the past several years on that machine, never had any performance issues. 8 gigs of RAM sounds low, but like it's, Apple's unified RAM, and it's the iPad OS is so well optimized for it. Like part of the reason why they haven't switched over. People they put 8 gigs in, the current MacBooks with no issue. So I don't think it's a concern. Paybank, thank you for the congrats on 50,000. Okay. I know I keep saying I have to go, but I really do this time. I'm going to answer one more question. Sarah, you said you've seen people report the Nano sometimes being a little blurry on white backgrounds or seeing a little noise. No, absolutely not. It is crystal clear. So like this here is a screen capture, but like it looks exactly like the screen. Like it looks like I cannot tell at all that this is a screen and not real life. I wish that this was more helpful, but the camera is just not as good. Maybe I need to upgrade. Sorry about that. Maybe I need to upgrade camera again. But I did, if you look at my other video, there's better shots that I filmed with my better camera of the screen. This screen is amazing. Best screen I've ever seen. Hassan, Tuesday's video came out this morning. If you're new to my channel, I post videos every Tuesday, but I posted this week's video early because I wanted to share information about the Nano Texture display because there's not a lot out there. So I posted early. I don't think I'll have time to do another one before Tuesday, but maybe we'll see. I gotta run. This has been fun. Hopefully it was helpful. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions. If you want to go ahead and leave them in the comments, once this gets posted to my site, I will try to answer as many as I can. I'm usually pretty good about it. The live streams usually go unlisted, but there's a playlist on my website for live streams, and you can find all of my live streams in there. Oh, I forgot. Next Friday, I can't do my live stream. I got roped into doing a career presentation at my middle school. They've asked me 3 years in a row, and I've gotten out of it all of those years, and I couldn't say no this year. So I'm going to be doing that on Friday. I'm scared. I'm going to get bullied by 8th graders, and I'm not into it. They're going to be mean, and I don't know. I'd much rather be hanging out with you guys. Hopefully I survive it. But maybe I'll do a different live stream after that, if I don't get beat up by 8th graders. So I think it's been a good talk. I'll see you all soon. And okay, bye. Thank you. Smash my thumbs on the way out.